Okay, so let's get started and get ourselves a little bit warm and mobile. So we're just going to start on the spot, just going for high knees, marching nice and slow, just pulling those knees up nice and high. Feel the muscles around the hips and your legs as well having to work to get those knees quite high. Okay, good. Okay, then we're going to go high knee out to 45 degrees and back in again and down. High knee out to 45 and down. Okay, good. Out to 45 and down. Up, out to 45 and down. Same on the other side, so middle out halfway, so 45 degrees. And in. Okay, good. And then we're going to go back to that first knee and we're going to go out to 90 and back in again and down. Okay, and then swap to the other side. So up, out to 90. Okay, then last one, we're going to come up into the middle, out to 90 and round and back in again. So up, out to 90 and round. So rather than just out and back, we're going to bring it round. Okay, when we've done about 4 or 5 of those, we're going to change sides. Okay, great. So from standing now, we're going to come into a Romanian deadlift, an RDL, so what that looks like. Straight back, chest up. We're just going to send our bum backwards, keeping a soft bend in the knee. We're going to come over to about here, should feel tension on the hamstrings and up. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to start about a mat's width. We're going to do 5 of those. Then we're going to take a slightly wider stance. We're going to do 5 more and we're going to keep going up to 20 reps, okay? So we start normal width below hips, coming over. Don't push things too far. So 5 reps here. I then slide over again. 4. Once you get to 5, take 1 step slightly wider, keep going. Once you get to 10, take a step wider again, keep going. And then when you get to 15, 1 more wider, so we're quite wide now, and we're going over again. Okay, good stuff. Right, we're going to come down to the floor now. Hands and knees. So from here, nice square hands and knees. We're going to sit our hips through towards the floor and sit back. And we're just going to rock through that movement to get some warmth and some movement through the lower back. Okay, let's go for 3 more of those. 1, 2, 3. Okay, stay where you are. From then, stay on those hands and knees. We're just going to start going for shoulder taps. We're going to get a bit quicker. And we're going to go almost as fast as we can then. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hands back planted to the floor. We're then going to keep palms planted on the floor. We're going to twist the elbows so the inner of the elbow points forwards and then rotates around so it points towards backwards. I don't think you'll get it quite backwards, but then forwards and back, and just have that nice movement through the elbow. Okay, a few more of those. Okay, back to that nice square hands and knees position. From there, we're going to do a variation of the press up, where we're going to keep our arms straight, no bend in the arm, but the movement's going to come from the upper back and the shoulders. So we're going to push our chest down towards the floor, and then away, and down towards the floor, and away. As long as you're keeping those arms straight, and your chest is going towards the floor and away, then you're doing it right. So a nice bit of movement there for the scapula. Okay, let's go for 5 more of those. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, great. Back into the middle. We're going to go for 6 on each side of looking and pointing towards the ceiling, and then driving that arm under. When you've done your 6, okay, excellent. 2 more movements in this first bit here, and we'll have a break, have a drink as well. So from this hands and knees position, we're going to get our either leg, but right leg for me right now is going to stick out to the side here. It's flat on the floor, and we're just going to rock backwards and forwards with that leg out. So push that foot down into the floor that's on the straight leg, and we're just going to rock forwards and back then. Nothing too extreme. Okay, 2 more. 1, 2, change legs. Okay, 3 more. 2 and 3. Okay, and then finally, I'll just explain this one because it's quite a new one. It takes a little bit of working out. So if you just concentrate on this for a sec. So we're going to be lying down on the floor. I'll do it here first. So lying down on the floor, arms are up. Our hands are going to come round like this off the floor. When we get to 90 degrees, the palm's going to flip and point upwards. We're then going to bring the hands in together at the lower back, palm on top of each other. And then we're going to try and squeeze it up as far as we can up our back. And then from there, our elbows, then we're going to bring in and try and touch the floor with the elbows. So let's give that a go. So we're coming down to laying down, hands out ahead. We're going to bring them all the way around. When they get to 90 degrees, we're going to flip those palms so they're facing up. Bring them round, palm on top of palm, bring them together up your back, and then try and touch your elbows down to the floor. It's quite hard that. And bring it up. And we're going to do 4 of those now. Okay, so for the next bit, it'll be useful to have a weight. So use this little break now to get a drink or get a weight. I just need to go and get my stopwatch. I'll be back in a second. Okay. If you've got a weight, that's great, and if you haven't, then no dramas. Okay, cool. So, we're going to start off, we're going to get that weight, and we're going to bring it up to the chest. So holding it up here. Whenever we're doing anything holding weights up here, we're bracing our core, and we're going to come down for 5 nice normal squats. Nice and controlled. Think about movement. Keeping that chest up, driving those knees out. Okay, great. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our feet really quite wide. That might mean that the toes are pointing outwards slightly. We're going to go for another 5, holding the weight with that wide stance. On the last rep, so we're going to take it to 6. We're going to pause at the bottom for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and up. Okay, from there we're going to hold that weight comfortably however you want to, and we're going to go into 15 calf raises. So we've been doing calf raises these last few weeks. We're going to add a little bit of resistance this time. Okay, and 15. And then we're going to go into a single leg, a cross-body Romanian deadlift. That's a mouthful. So what that looks like, the Romanian deadlift is the same movement as what we did earlier, coming over like this. But we're going to be on the, we're going to hold the weight in the opposite side to the working leg. So it looks a bit like this. So we're going to come over, the weight's going to come to the outside of the front foot, and we're going to stand. So coming over, weight to the outside, and stand. Chest up, nice straight back. We're going to go for 5 of those. Then we're going to change to the other side. Okay. Okay, good. Moving on, we're going to come into a bottoms up swing. So we can either use, if you've got a light kettlebell, what that will look like is we're doing a single hand swing. As we come up, we're going to hold it upside down. Just catch it upside down. Okay, if you haven't got a kettlebell and using a dumbbell, that's fine. We can swing the dumbbell, bring it up, stabilise it, down, stabilise it. We're going to go for 10 of those on each side. So when we're swinging that kettlebell, it's thumb always pointing upwards. So when it's coming down between your legs, thumb points up. Bring it up, grip it, give those shoulders some work. And then with the dumbbell, obviously, it works as well. I wouldn't do this with anything heavier than an 8 or a 12 on the kettlebell for the time being. Okay, once you've done 10 on each side, come down into a half kneeling position with your weight. Okay, and then from there, we're going to get that weight. We're going to curl it to the shoulder. So we're going to hold the weight in the side of the back leg. So my left knee's forward, I'm holding the weight here. We're going to curl the weight up, and we're going to press. We're going to let it down, curl the weight up and press. Okay, good. We're going to go for 6 of these on each side. All right, lovely. Once you've done your 6, change sides. Curl it up and press. Lovely. Okay, from there, just drop the weight down to the floor for a second so we get the hang of the movement. Then we'll bring the weight back in and load the movement. So we're going to go into a half kneeling windmill next. So we're going to be staying in this half kneeling position. The arm on the side of the front knee is going to point up towards the ceiling. And from there, we're going to look up towards that hand. And this, we're going to send our, let me go more front on, send our hips out to the side like that. And the other hand's going to come down and touch the floor. If you're feeling really flexible today, then get a flat hand down to the floor. If you're feeling a bit less flexible, then maybe a fist. And if you're not feeling very flexible today, then a straight hand, fingers pointing down, and you can reduce the range then. All right, so once you feel comfortable with that movement not loaded, let's change sides. Just make sure we're comfortable on the other side, then we'll bring a little bit of weight in, okay? We should be feeling this working our obliques on the side of your core, but also shoulder stability, especially when we add some weight in. Okay, if you're happy, grab your kettlebell or your dumbbell, go quite light. Let's go back to that first leg. We're going to get that arm locked out overhead, and we're going to go for 5 or 6 of those half kneeling windmills. Okay, and when you've done your 5 or 6 on that side, switch sides. Okay, great. Once that's done, we're going to come down seated on the floor, providing that you've got a really light weight. So I'm talking 1-2 kilos, then we can do this loaded. If your weight is heavier than that, then we might want to just stick to body weight. So we're going to get one knee out here so we can get our elbow into it. And the movement's going to be for 10 reps is this arm's going to come over through 90 degrees. So we get a nice bit of rotation through the shoulder. If you want to use a light weight, and from there, we can do it there. We're just focusing on pivoting on that elbow, controlling the movement, not using ego and going for weight. A bit like I have here, because I happen to have picked up a 4. And we're going for 10. We should feel this beginning to burn a little bit in the shoulder, in the back of the shoulder as well. When you get to 10, change sides. But it's nice to keep that elbow on the knee because it keeps us true to form and stable. Okay. Okay, great. Then finally, let's come up to a kneeling or a standing position. We've still got hold of our weight. If you're using a kettlebell, I'd hold it upside down by the horns like this. If you're using a dumbbell, I'd hold it either by the ends here or 2 hands in the middle. And we're going to go for some halos. So we're going to do 8 halos in each direction. So we're going to send it round the back of the head, continuing in the same direction for all the reps. And then we'll change direction. So we should feel a lovely bit of work going through the shoulder, through the upper back as well. Trying to get it as low as you can around the back of the head. Again, we don't want to go too heavy with this. Okay, once you've done your 8, change sides. I'll change over to a kettlebell so you can see that one. Nice and controlled. Okay, excellent. Okay, when that's done, put the weight down to the side. We're going to move into a little bit of a flow, and then we'll go on to some stretching. Okay, so we're going to come down to seated. I think we did this one last week, but again, let me just explain, because there's a bit to think about. So, we start here. We're going to send both knees over into the 90-90 position. From there, our chest is going to come down on top of this knee, which is going to put more of a stretch through the glutes. As the chest comes down, stop there and lift this rear foot. So the pivot point is the knee stays down, foot raises. Back into the middle. From here, your hands are going to go back, and I'll just turn sideways so it's easier to see. Your hands are going to go back, you're going to lift your bum off the floor. Sit yourself back into a 90-degree position there, then forwards, and then you're going to go over and do your 90-90 in the other direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend 2 minutes working on that. Alright, so if we get ready to go then, I'll come with you at the same time to begin with, but then no doubt we'll be out of pace soon after that. So 3, 2, 1. So we're going to send both knees over. Chest over the front knee, get some weight over it, get a good stretch. Foot raises if you can, down, into the middle, hands behind, bum off the floor, sit back, straight legs, should feel that in your core, back into the middle, over to the side, chest down, raise that rear foot. And then let's just work through that slowly then, for 2 minutes, like with all mobility. No need to rush at all. Okay, keep working your way through. We've got 50 seconds left, 5-0. Okay, 30 seconds left. We'll probably get a couple more done. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, great. Grab a drink, take a rest, and we'll move on to some stretching. Good stuff.